morning, good morning. Another beautiful day here in Jersey. So we're ready to get it going. We're gonna be doing a big building this morning. It's about 70 apartments. Should be getting that done in a good time. Even though today's a holiday, so we may have a lot of tenants home today, which again, it's a good thing. We need to get into those apartments as many as possible. We'll be treating the common areas. We'll be treating the compactor room, and again, I'm going to lead you along with me, just so you can get an idea of how I'm doing it. Afterwards, we have two other, one smaller building to do, and an apartment. And then I also have a deli to take care of later this afternoon. And that should be it today. Again, so it's a good day. It's going to be not a full day, but we'll have enough work cut out to get through today. All right. Please stick around at the end. We're going to do a recap, and we'll talk about what we did today. All right. All right, brother. Take care. Okay. All right, brother.
Can I go in the bathroom real quick?
is a monthly treatment that I do here. It's mainly maintaining the RTUs. We have a lot of around the perimeter of this trailer of the dealership. On the bottom here, we have the perimeter. You see on the floor, we got one there, one here, got another open one over here, right in there. So basically, we keep the perimeter of this trailer with bait stations. And the reason we do that is to try to keep the rodents in this area. Rodents, a lot of times when you guys go out and test drive these cars, they come back with a warm engine, and so then they'll go hang out in the engine compartment, inside there to keep warm. While they're there, they start knowing the cables. So that becomes an issue, obviously, because when they know the cables, sometimes they bite through and they cause damages. A lot of they have some high-end cars here. If you get a high-end car and you damage the computer cable, it could be in the thousands of dollars. So with the bait stations, as long as we keep them fresh, if there's any rodent, it helps keep the rodents away from the cars. They can't avoid from getting them in the car because, again, this is an open space. So we have right along the perimeter of this trailer, this rodent bait station. You can see here at the bottom. So I'm going to check all of them and put some fresh bait if they need it, and if they've eaten the bait, then we'll replace it. All right. Making a little shish kebab, a little skewer for the rats. All right, so the rodents usually come in from the outside. They'll work their way into the car, into one of these cars. Usually, the cars, they have these little gaps inside, right in there. They'll work their way up through the wheel well into the engine, and they can cause some serious damage. That's why it's important to keep, we keep the base stations, as we have in the perimeter. Keep the base stations with fresh bait all the time. Try to keep them occupied. So far, they haven't been causing any damages since we've been keeping these base stations in good order. So the door in its places, right in a dealership. You think they will look only for food, but they also look for a warm place to stay, and then they'll end up causing damages to the cars. All right, so we're all set for today. Today we started with that big building early this morning. That building, it took me a while, almost 3 hours to do that building. It's 70 units, so there's a lot of door knocking. So that'll take you some time. Also the treatments, obviously we treated the common areas, the hallways, all the areas that we can access. Also the trash chutes. Always important in these big buildings that we treat the trash chutes to try, whether they recycle or they're placing the trash. So that was that. After that, we got into that second building that we did today, and that building also is well maintained. It's not in bad shape. Of all the units there, I have only one problem there. One existing roach issue, and that's again has to do a little bit with a sanitation problem in that unit. Outside of that, the building is in pretty good shape. We also, when we finished the building, we went downstairs to the garage. We checked the traps that we set up in the perimeter. We also checked the RTUS, the rodent treatment units. Particularly important is that even if you're not getting activity in those RTUs, in the rodent treatment units, that you check them and replace the bait. Replace the bait when it's needed, obviously, but in some areas, the bait, if there's no activity and the bait's just sitting there, they can last, usually can last 6 up to almost a year, the dry baits. But if it gets humid or if it's getting wet, then you're gonna get mildew in the bait. So it's a good idea to change out the bait. So you gotta keep them fresh, otherwise it's not gonna work. The rodents will not eat them. The last place we visited was a car dealership. Again, like that's the first day when I started, when I went into business, and I first got that first phone call from a dealership. I was a little surprised because I was under the idea that the rodents will only be getting into areas where there's food, and again, not necessarily. They're very, in a lot of places. So what happens is they'll look for warm places to harborage or to just hang out and hide, or if it's a female, they'll look for a place to form a nest. So what a better place than a vehicle, right? So then if a vehicle, especially if the vehicle is warm, especially in the winter, and here in the Northeast, the vehicle is warm, and they just tested this car out and they put it back in the lot, and the engine is warm, they'll come in up to the wheel well. In this one place, they did cause a lot of damage. They damaged 2 cars. One thing was a Mercedes and another high-end car, and they bit into. They don't eat wires, but they do gnaw into them because they're soft, and they ended up damaging the harnesses. Again, the harnesses on a computer, for the computer on those high-end vehicles, is very expensive. So it could run into the thousands of dollars. So it's important that they have a good pest control program if they're having these issues, so that we can set up bait stations. In this last dealership that we did, I replaced the one or two bait stations that needed to replace the old bait. I took that old bait out and I put all fresh bait all the way around. There was some activity there prior, this past month, because about 3 of the bait stations had missing. They were basically eaten up. So we replaced all of that. All right. So again, the door in this place is to find rodent activity in the dealership, right? So I hope you like the content. Please hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below, and I'll get right back to you. All right. Thank you for hanging out.